Welcome back to the Press Club. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Earl Bousquet here with me, Clinton Reynolds, discussing the latest developments for the past weekend. Earl, a lot more to discuss. We have the Taiwanese giving $7 million to the CDP, Constituency Development Project. I mean, I don't know. There is this report on the rural town and village councils that has come out, you know, just under 1 month ago, and Taiwan is giving more money. That seems a bit odd to me.
It may seem odd on the surface, but it really isn't.
What's $7 million between friends, huh?
No, not just that. That is $7 million out of 60 million. You would recall that St. Lucia and Taiwan went to elections within 3 months of each other.
Right.
The St. Lucia changed government in October 2011. Taiwan changed government in January of 2012.
Yeah.
The two countries changed governments. Those two governments each had fundamentally different approaches to China. The present government in Taiwan is not interested in independence and has been building bridges to China faster than we have been beating our eyes. In the last 2 years, Taiwan, and in the last 4 years, Taiwan and China have signed over 20 agreements, covering everything from economic, science, you name it, agriculture.
But that started before the previous government, though.
Yes,
I mean,
no,
that relationship,
that relationship started from 1992 when they had the 1992 consensus between Beijing and Taipei. However, in 2004, there was a change of government. The Chen Shui-bian administration won in Taiwan and was pursuing independence and remained in office for 8 years, during which the final of that 8 years, St. Lucia won elections. The UWP won elections in St. Lucia, and that was when Chen Shui-bian, the last place he visited before going back to Taiwan to go to jail was St. Lucia, when we had all of the thing about the red envelopes and all of that. But coming back to today, the present administration in Taiwan has a different, a less hostile approach to China than the previous administration. St. Lucia has, the St. Lucia Labour Party has relations with the Communist Party of China. But unexpectedly, quite unexpectedly, the Prime Minister Anthony decided on September 11th last year to maintain diplomatic relations with Taiwan. The Taiwan foreign minister visited St. Lucia after the last Taiwan elections and indicated that they would be giving St. Lucia
millions of dollars.
No, a fraction of what was being given to the previous administration. Yes, St. Lucia raised issues about it, and it was not announced, but Taiwan has in fact doubled the amount that they offered, and they have agreed to give $60 million to the St. Lucia. The $7-point-something million is for the Constituency Development Program, out of that 60-something million. Now, the difference is that under the previous Taiwanese administration, according to Alan Chasney, Tom Chu, as a representative of the then Taiwan administration, insisted that Taiwanese funds to St. Lucia should not go in the consolidated fund, and therefore the Ministry of Finance would not be able to follow it. I remember Tom Chu saying that the consolidated fund was red tape. However, this present administration in Taiwan has agreed with the administration in St. Lucia that any Taiwan funds donated under this administration, these two administrations, will go in the consolidated fund, and therefore
and that was one of the premises of the
yes, and therefore you see that every time Prime Minister Anthony, including Wednesday, gets a check he hands it over to the Treasury. This is more than just symbolic. It is representative of the fact that the way in which Taiwanese money is handled in St. Lucia has changed in the past year. The Taiwanese, I can tell you, are quietly pleased. We cannot pretend, even though the Taiwanese ambassador has said nothing, and I don't expect him to say anything about the report that was issued, the Taiwanese ought to be pleased that the hard-working money of the taxpayers contributed to St. Lucia to be used in communities is now being accounted for. So it would, on the surface, like you said, appear that well, the Taiwanese, they know what they're doing. All their money get thief just the other day, and now they're giving more.
You're paraphrasing me, right?
Well, no. I'm interpreting.
Modern paraphrasing.
Yeah, I'm interpreting
that's your
what
interpretation
you said.
of what I said.
Yeah. But like I said, I think the Taiwanese are quietly pleased that accountability and transparency has returned to the handling of their funds. That money is going to, as the Prime Minister said, it is going to be spent in every one of the 17 constituencies around the island. And equal amounts will be handed over by the Taiwanese ambassador over time.
Well, I mean, the only thing I want to say about that, you know, once we are getting assistance from friendly governments, this is something that we should appreciate, because times are hard economically. And whatever assistance we can get, we must welcome it. And I mean, I still have to dig a little deeper into the report. I have printed it out and I've been sifting through it.
Do like me, read it
as a novel?
no, item by item, constituency by constituency,
yeah,
rather than like a book.
No, that's what I've been doing.
Take it one at a time, one per day. Believe me, there's enough in each chapter to keep you going for a day.
In place,
preserve your sanity. Take it in little bits.
But I mean, there's certain things, as I mentioned before, that it struck me. You know, some of the language in it. Somebody raised that question about, I think it was Stephen King, who said, you know, find out who the people, the authors of the report are. And I think if he had to say something about the authors, he should just come out and say it. But then when I was reading it, there were certain phrases and certain things, that, the way things were put in the report, that raised my...
Like what?
It was a bit too peppered. Some of the reporting was a bit too peppered. For an independent body just looking at it, taking all the facts and presenting them.
By peppered, do you mean political?
Yeah, a little bit. I felt that. I was not sure, because the first time I read it, I was like, wow, this thing is strong. You know, this has been said. I cannot point to any specific thing right now, but I was like, whoa.
Don't you think you're reacting to the strength of the revelations and the findings rather than just the language?
No, because...
Okay, let me address that.
No, hold on. Before you address it, because I was saying, you know, this is something that we all suspected, but now it's in front of us, and all the evidence is in this document. But then certain things, how they were worded, probably my journalistic eye picked it up, that, okay, it should be more neutral, and then people say, wow, you know, you mean this actually happened? But it will say, well, this actually happened. You see what I'm saying? Make you more passive party to that discussion, rather than someone who's actively saying, okay, you know what, let me add one and one together in a report and find two.
Okay, let me address that, because in our profession, memory is very important. We have to remember. We tend to, at the end of every year, forget what happened in that past year and look for the next one. When the Prime Minister, on the 11th of September last year, made that address in which he indicated that St. Lucia would retain, he promised two things. One was that the government would soon table a report of a cabinet-appointed committee that was appointed to carry out a review of the operations of town, village, and rural councils. And the second thing he promised was a forensic audit He named the company that would do the forensic audit.
Right.
And what the forensic audit would be about. So when the opposition leader and representatives of the UWP say they are confused that this is not a forensic audit, the Prime Minister never said that this was a forensic audit.
Yeah.
Its name says it is a review.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is no forensic audit on the table. There is a report. Now, the questions being raised as per Alan Shastney's statement and Mr. Stephenson King's opposition leader's statement, they are saying that these people are not forensic auditors and they do not have qualifications. Well, they did not have to be forensic auditors, and they did not have to be because they were not doing a forensic audit. These are people.
To be honest with you, I mean, I'm not even paying so much nonsense is said that some of it just goes over my head.
Well, let's move on.
I don't
my only last thing on this is that it would seem to me that the UWP is saying, hello, yes, money was missing and so on and so forth, because in Mr. Shastney's statement he's saying if anybody did anything wrong, lock them up. Josie goes further and says Kenny Anthony should do whatever he has to do to throw the book at anybody who thief people money, because young people will not have encouragement. And Josie was saying so as a UWP at a UWP meeting in Babono, calling on Kenny Anthony to do what he has to, if he has to, throw the book at them. My only thing about it is that at the end of the day, Clinton, you put your money at your home in a safe place. It is stolen. And then that money is found. Do you care whether that money was found by a policeman, by a watchman, or by John Citizen? You just want to know that the money that was stolen has been found.
Let me go further. My thing is, and I hate the fact that we spend a lot of taxpayers' money to do these things and nothing comes out of it. Okay? Not only would be happy that my money is found, but whoever stole it, I would love to see that person be punished for it.
Or paid back.
Well, yeah, you paid back, but you still get punished for it, so that
fine and confined.
Of course, you're never in a position again to come back to me and steal my money. Okay, but let's take a break right now. We have a few things to discuss, and we have just a few minutes left. So stay with us. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on the developments for last week. Stay with us.